France in many aspects. France is one of the most unique countries in the world. Having traveled to France, I know from experience that the country has many historical aspects and modern aspects as well. When talking about France, there are endless interesting facts to discuss. From government to fashion, France is one of the most iconic countries to research. In my speech, I'll first discuss facts about the country. Second, I'll discuss different cultural aspects. And lastly, unique communication behaviors. France has many interesting facts that I have researched and also seen in person. France is the largest country by size in Europe. The capital of France is Paris. France is divided into two metropolitan regions with a population of over 66 million and at least 75 million foreign tourists per year, which makes France the most visited country in the world. With that many tourists, it has the third largest income in the world because of the money spent from tourism. The official language of France is French. Airplanes are a major transportation system used in France with the 464 airports in total. There are several different railways in France, and that is one of the most used transportation for locals. France's currency is the euro, which is the second most traded currency right behind the dollar. Documentations are necessary when traveling into the country. One would need a valid passport. Before 1999, the official currency of France was a franc. The franc expired on February 17, 2002. The euro was then introduced on January 1st, 2002. On the 1 and 2 euro coins, there is a tree. The tree symbolizes life and growth. Another requirement for traveling to France is if you're staying a short time, you must have a return plane ticket. Also, one must have a proof of money to use in the form of cash, credit cards, or travel checks to support you during your stay. You also must have proof of accommodations during your stay. Culture is one of the most important things to talk about when researching France. France is very culturally diverse in many ways. The food in France is very well known for the freshness and high quality. Typical French food can consist of escargot, crepes, baguettes, and ratatouille. Most dinners start with hors d'oeuvres. After the main meal, fruit and cheese is to follow. The Eiffel Tower is the most popular place to visit in Paris. The Eiffel Tower is popular because there have been a number of ceremonial events, science experiments, and popular stunts that have been shown in movies. There are more visitors than any other paying monument in the world. The Louvre Art Museum is another tourist attraction with many famous paintings and statues, one major painting being the Mona Lisa. There are also many majestic castles to visit, including Versailles. Napoleon I commissioned the Arc de Triomphe to remember and honor his military. It is located at the center of a huge square in the shape of a star. This monument is the highest arc in Europe. Religion is an important aspect in French culture. 88% of France is consisted of Roman Catholics. Along with this comes spectacular cathedrals. Most people believe a cathedral is named because of its big size, but really it's named for a Christian church that has a seat for a bishop. Notre Dame de Paris is a Gothic cathedral that is famous for being in many books and movies, and everyone's favorite Hunchback. It dates back to the 12th century and is known for its gargoyles on the outside. In France, there's many different communication behaviors. Body language in France is very important. When seeing a friend or family, a kiss on the cheek is a very common gesture. Usually the kiss is on the right cheek, and the number of kisses depend on the region, but in France it's usually 2 kisses on either side. Sometimes when people disagree on something, the sign that is used is called a boff or a Gallic shrug. They raise their hands and shoulders with their palms facing outward, and they say boff, indicating that they don't agree or don't really care. In American, our sign for okay is making a circle with our hands, but in France it's called a zero, and it means something is like worthless or they don't care about it. In America, family life is very important in France. Meal times are longer, and the minimum of sit-down meals with the family a day are a bare minimum of 2. Some families share the same properties for generations. Extended family is very common. If someone of the family moves away, is usually they don't move very far. They stay pretty close by. This is changing now because of the bigger cities in France, but even then, families still get together often for lunch and dinner. Most people in France are considered individualistic because they're not collectivistic thinkers. A summary. First, I told you main facts about France. Second, I told you about cultural aspects, and lastly, I talked about unique communication behaviors. France is very unique and have many different aspects to their culture. From the language to the government to fashion, France is one of the most iconic countries to research. There's so much to talk about, and hopefully I covered at least half of the most interesting topics of the country of France.